Hi, welcome to another vlog where I share my story from the perspective of a woman in India. And through my story, I'm exploring what is it? What is it like to be a woman, or even like what is it to be a woman? Who is a woman? What makes me a woman? I explore my story through different lenses, I guess. I explore my story through whatever inspires me on that day. And today I am inspired to speak about the rebel. And that's the word that kept coming back to me to sort of unpack in one of these vlogs. The reason I'm doing this is also for me to find a language that comes from within, where I'm not getting stuck in the set ways of expressing through the language, like English, like set ways of expressing. Instead, like really pull it out from inside me. Rebel. Why have I been thinking about it so much? Because I think that is mistaken for strength. Being a rebel is mistaken for strength, and I don't know, and I'm not fully sure that in my so-called rebellious years as a young woman in my late teens, you do these exciting things and take risks and you're free, and I mean, you're not going to let anyone tell you what to do. You're independent. And then you see that there is a difference in the way independence is defined for a boy, a man, and a girl, a woman. Something that many of us do not realize. Many like me, many do realize in their within their families growing up, but I'm talking about from childhood until I went to college. I didn't fully see that some of the things that I wasn't allowed to do or I couldn't do was because I was a girl or a woman, because I didn't have many boys around as such to compare. And even if I had boys around in class, in school, I mean, most people were into just like studying. And the schools that I went to, I didn't see a difference in treatment of boys and girls in school. And when I got a little older, like in high school, everyone was into studying. I wasn't into sports, but I had seen both boys and girls play sports, be like debate, and there was a head boy and a head girl. So as such, it wasn't very apparent to me. Maybe I had seen some favoritism towards the boy child in the family, and I knew that it existed in the world. I mean, I meant the extended family, but I didn't have like a brother or anything. Interesting. As I say that, I realize it's a lie, or there is more to unpack here. I did notice that difference in the relationship of my. It's an imbalanced equation between the men and women, but either I was thinking, I think I was making plans. Yeah, I would say that I was constantly thinking about escaping it. Until then, I had felt like it hadn't touched me. Again, as I say that, no, that's not it. I'm wrong. I remember that when we were in Delhi in 11th and 12th. I did think, I did like, again, from movies and stories around, like women were more vulnerable to abuse, and I was aware of that. See, I start with one thing, and this is what I love about the process, and this is what this is meant for. I start from one thing and I like completely drift, and I want to be able to, like, oh my god, my neck. I want to be able to capture that drifting, and like, and memories are coming back, to be able to capture that. And right now the question I'm asking myself is like, what was I feeling and thinking? There was anger, feeling of like, this is not fair. I hadn't really felt like danger as such. Even if someone Eve teased me, it hurt me, and I would fight back. As a kid, this was like up until school. If somebody said something and I didn't like it and I thought it was inappropriate, and I would make a scene about it and I would fight back. But I think up until my school, like, I hadn't, not that I hadn't had weird experiences, but I hadn't felt like unsafe. So there was this, like, I won't let people just say anything to me and get away with it, and I'm not gonna take shit about be like that as a man, or you should be like that as a woman, or you should be this way because you're a woman. I wasn't going to take that from anyone else. Especially, I don't think I had that experience directly, like from my family. I think that's what I'm saying. Underlying, you see a lot of things, that imbalance exists, but it was never said to me to my face, or like I'm less than a man or a boy. Even if you might observe that in the relationships between a man and a woman in the family, somehow it felt like that wouldn't happen to me, or I have to steer away from it, like a combination of that. Anyway, I think there's more to like capture and articulate there, but I want to move on to this phase in college. There's so many things that are coming up, but let me try and come back to this rebel thing. Someone who would like push back, and then someone who's not going to take that shit, someone who's not going to be like, I also like enjoyed flirting, and I wasn't like scared of that. Openness, teasing sort of attitudes towards boys, and acting, all of that, but also not mature. But coming to the rebel part, how bad am I at building this story? Because my mind keeps going elsewhere. I feel like I caught on to something interesting which I'm not able to, like, ooh, it'll come, it'll come. I said this in the beginning. Let me try to like connect all of this. I promise there is like a point to all of this in my it'll come out. Like, what is it to be a woman? Who is a woman? What is it to be a woman, to feel like a woman, right? And that is the exploration about. And I think that is also something that girl who graduated from school, the girl who had all these experiences that I just shared, and then going to school and being this rebel, and that kind of behavior that I'm going to talk to a little bit more in a bit, is termed as a rebel, the one who is more, they would say, dominating, but I would say the one who takes the first step, who takes the lead. And if you say that I can't do this, and I went off, and so the point about, like, as such, my parents did not ever say that, oh, you can't do this because you're a girl. But then I go to Gujarat to a college from an army upbringing to where in army misogyny probably exists, but very like in you have to really be oh, open your eyes and look around and like to catch it. And then here it's like out there, like boys in your class will tell you that you're a girl, don't behave like that, you can't do this because you're a girl. And I saw one of my classmates' younger brother slap her for something, and I was shocked. First of all, I think I was shocked because he was younger and he slapped, and for what he slapped, about her going out or something. So and I go into that sort of environment. Um, and I was also talking about earlier that I didn't feel like viscerally unsafe and all by myself, of course, because I lived with my parents, and then here in college I wasn't with them, I was by myself. And so that I still haven't gotten to the point of that being a rebel. So as a rebel, I thought to push back because you said you're a girl, you shouldn't do these things, like things that boys did. I would do that. And that is what I wanted to like explore. Like we as women, are we stuck between like this is your role as a woman, you should do this, and then when we fight back, we are trying to do what those who tell us that you shouldn't be doing it that they do. So this thing of where we should be like finding and feeling ourselves and just being us, being who we are, to be our fighting back involves, or at least in my case, involved being like a man without being like a man. I'm a woman, but then doing the things that men do, those ridiculous things that men do, and thinking that, oh, I did it. They said don't do it, I did it. And I appreciate myself for being all of that and doing all of that. And I think I should continue this. I've started this, I should continue this. But what is the question that I would leave for myself? I have this image about like if your life is like a box, and it's like a labyrinth. It feels like a labyrinth, and you're trying to find your way, and there are these obstacles like those walls, and those walls are all of these conditioning that direct your way. You you don't get you don't headbutt and get stuck in those walls. You still direct your way and you think you're making your way. Yeah, that's the thing. You think you're making your way, but you're actually in a labyrinth, and those walls are in place. You choose to go this way or that way, but you are in the labyrinth. But you think you are like making your way and you're going somewhere. But what does it mean to just free yourself from that, and at least in your mind, to free yourself from that, to feel yourself from that, like in your everyday life, to uh, survive? You may not be able to free yourself of this labyrinth completely. you survive in whatever social setup that you are in, but what does it mean to free your mind of it and feel your body and not let that labyrinth become so, like, not to take it, I guess, seriously. I need to find a better word for that. I'll end there today. I think today's sharing was like, I did it horribly. My articulation was horrible, but we keep trying.